Welcome back to our 60th episode of the Launch Your Farm Show, where I interview Kevin Kendrick with the Kendrick Real Estate Team in Orlando, Florida. In this episode, Kevin and I talk about why his team is always pivoting and staying ahead of the competition to ensure they add value in their community and stay relevant. Kevin also shares how staying consistent in your farm helps you build trust and gives you an edge when it comes to gaining traction. And we talk about what types of events they do in their farm and how they leverage their community to gain massive market share. And we share a super easy way to get contact information from your farm so you can build your database quickly. And Kevin shares how he almost gave up after his first 3 months because he thought he wasn't succeeding, but had a major breakthrough that helped catapult his farm. Plus, a ton of other ideas that you can use to grow your geographic farm. So be sure to check out this episode, like and subscribe, and enjoy the episode with Kevin. Welcome back to another episode of the Launch Your Farm Show. I'm your host, Ryan Smith, and today we've got a great guest. It's Kevin Kendrick from the Kendrick Real Estate Team in Orlando with Keller Williams. So Kevin, take a second, tell us a bit about yourself and why you're here.
Well, Ryan, first off, thank you so much for having me. When you sent me a text and we communicated in regards to Jenny Weimer, who you just recently had as a guest, mentioned me, it was such an honor because Jenny is kind of the standard in the Central Florida real estate market. But as far as our team goes, we're a husband-wife team in the southeast section of Orlando. We do serve all of Central Florida, but since we're talking farming, we farm southeast Orlando, and we have a team of 7 total. I'm the lead listing agent. My wife, she works kind of on the staging, customer care, personal coaching with our agents. We have 4 buyers agents, and then we have an admin/TC. Based on production, we should probably have a lot more people than what we actually do this year to date. As of October 5th, we've got about 133 closed transactions for about 51 million. We'll finish the year probably about 170 as far as transactions go, and between 65 and 70 million. But one thing about our team as a whole is we really believe in that philosophy of digging deeper versus going wider. And so we have very deep relationships with our agents. We ask a lot from them as well as we do from ourselves. And we've been very blessed that they've stepped up and they've been on board with us since day one.
That's awesome. And I think it's also important to note that how long you've been in the business, because we were talking before we started, and you haven't been doing this very long to get as far as how the production you've got to. So can you share how long you started and then that kind of that growth trajectory you've had?
So on paper, I joined Keller Williams in August of 2014, but I didn't sell anything in 2014. In 2015, I sold about $3 million worth of real estate, maybe 15 transactions. But it was actually at the end of 2015 that I started to farm. And that's when I learned that there's power in farming. Yeah. I learned that I'm a very relational, community-driven person. My wife is the same way. At the beginning of 2016, we really started to see the fruits of the last 3 months of 2000. So we started in October 2015. Yeah. And she quit her job and she got licensed, and it was the 2 of us from 2016 to 2019. And during that time frame, we ended up 2019, end of 2018, we sold 17.5 million, just the 2 of us. Nice. And with me being the producer and her being the ops. And then we brought on our first listing agent, Richard, and I combined in 2019 to do about 23 million. Wow. Last year, he and I combined to do 41 million. Nice. And this year we've brought on more agents, and as a team, we'll collectively, like I said, we'll be around that $65 million mark.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. And it's awesome to see you really stay focused on that. And we were talking earlier about the speak my language, community positioning relationships is something I teach all the time, the CPR. It absolutely resonates with what you're about. So I want to go back to the beginning part of when you really started to do farming. So what was it that triggered you to say, hey, I'm actually jump right in and start farming?
So my office, I have my window right over here to my left and one day a for sale sign went up, and it wasn't my sign. And I realized I didn't know my neighbors. Yeah. We'd been in the neighborhood probably for 2 or 3 years. And other than just waving, probably none of them knew I was a real estate agent. Yeah. And so I asked my wife, I said, hey, can we go buy an outdoor movie projector, and can I buy a pop-up movie screen? And can we do a movie night? And
Nice.
so we just made little flyers, which ultimately then we started doing door hangers. And we invited the neighborhood, just our pocket. So our big neighborhood has 4 neighborhoods with 1,600 homes. My
Okay.
section has about 250. So we invited 250. Movie night on the green, come on out. And we had popcorn, and at the time we served wine and beer,
Nice.
and fruit drinks for the kids. And movie was going to start at 6:30, and of course, at 6:25, no one's there. It's just us. We're all set up, and we didn't even have a popcorn machine, so we actually popped about 50 microwavable bags to have the popcorn. And like at 6:26, it was like something out of a movie. Like people coming carrying their chairs, their blankets, their food, and it was an amazing night.
Yeah.
And we captured their information, and we did it again, and we did it again. We did it for 3 months straight, and I put them in the CRM. I did everything as far as emails, texting, phone calling. I didn't get one lead. As far as I got their names, I got their
Yeah.
information, but no one wanted to buy or sell a house. And honestly, we were like, okay, we did it for 3 months, maybe this isn't our thing.
Yep.
And we're like, let's just keep going, because it doesn't get that cold in Florida in January. So we did one more movie night in
Yeah.
January, and I got my first listing lead.
Nice.
And we did it again in February, and I got 2 more listings. And then we've been doing community events since COVID. And then with COVID, we've just kind of shifted.
Nice.
We don't do them as frequently, and we do try to spread them out so that it's more out. Well, they've always been outdoors, but
Yeah.
but that's really kind of how we got started, and we started to see that snowball effect. And I think the one thing for people watching, that farming, you want that quick fix. You're like, I'm going to do an event, I'm going to get 5 leads, and it's
Yeah.
going to turn into 3 buyers and 2 listings. And the reality is that if I gave up after 3 months, we probably would still be $5 to $10 million agents, but we
Yeah.
didn't. We
Yeah.
we stayed focused on what we were doing, and realistically, our business comes from 3 sources: farming, sphere, and open houses. And we even make open houses part of our farm,
Yep.
because we invite everybody to them. So, but that's how we got started, and we've been very creative. We don't even do the movie nights anymore. And I don't know if we'll talk about it later, but we always just try to come up with something very creative. And we're like, oh, another agent's doing a movie night, great, let's go do something better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
movie agent's doing a Halloween event, cool, let's do what we did last year and let's make it better. And so we
Yeah.
always want to make it better, and so that people want to come. And we haven't even advertised our pumpkin event yet, and there's a national shortage on pumpkins. So we're not going to do a pumpkin event, but guess what? We're going to do a pumpkin donut event, because I can
Nice.
get 250 pumpkin donuts, but I can't
Nice.
get 250 pumpkins.
That's great.
So, so we just always try to be pivoting and just trying to stay ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's really important that what you mentioned about the giving up at 3 months, because that's generally my experience. I've talked to hundreds of agents about farming, and that's kind of the pivotal point. That 3 to 6 months is when agents tend to give up. What I say, they're not farming. It's failed marketing. They try it and they get out there and they do it, and then they give up. And the reality is, if you stick with it enough and you do the right things enough, you're going to see the results. And like you said, you'd still be a smaller team. You wouldn't have grown because you didn't see the fruits of your labor if you would have given up. So for you, what was that next evolution? Then you started doing the events. How did you start going, okay, hey, this farming works for me, and I want to start doubling down?
So I'll answer that, but real quick, I think the one thing that I've learned more than anything with the farming piece is that 3 to 6 months. I think the community is trying to figure out one key word is that, do I trust him?
Yep.
Is this a guy that I trust to sell a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 home, or to let my best friend buy a home from him?
Yep.
And I think they were really feeling me out, because the one word that I hear the most in our community now is, well, Kevin, what do you think we should sell our home for? Because we trust you.
Yeah.
Or Kevin, do you think this is a good offer? Because we trust you. And that did not happen in those 3 to 6 months. It wasn't until we probably did it for a year and
Yeah.
we've already had closed customers that they're like, okay, this guy's legit. He's not a used car salesman.
Yeah.
So going back now, what was the question again?
The next evolution is you started doing those events, you started seeing the business come in. What did you do to say, okay, now let's take it to the next level and grow it?
Great question. So we started in our section of the neighborhood, and then we added another section, then we added the third section, we added the fourth section. So we went from inviting 250 homes to now all 1,600 homes.
Right.
Now, realistically, what we've learned is we still get about the same response. It doesn't matter how many people we get. We started using door hangers to promote all of our events.
Yep.
And so once a month, no matter what, they got a door hanger. We didn't use flyers. We didn't do mailers. We still used social media as a tool to back it up, but we always wanted them to do it, to have that door hanger. And what we've learned is that postcards, they just kind of skim them. It's, I don't
Yeah.
even know what it is, like a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
The door hanger was getting us about a second. So for a second, they saw our name. And
Yeah.
so over the course of 12 months, hopefully we got a minute of their time of
Yeah.
them looking at our stuff. But we also live in a neighborhood where we have a community school. So then we started doing things at the school as well. So we weren't just farming our community. Now we started providing breakfast for the teachers. We were doing stuff for the kids. And so now we're farming the school. Because one thing that I've learned in a pandemic, and we were doing this, but mentally we never thought about it, is when the country shuts down, who has jobs? People who have W-2 statements, W-2 jobs, teachers, nurses, and police officers.
Yep.
And those are people that we've always kind of farmed with anyways.
Yep.
And so by us pouring into the teachers, once again, now the community sees that and they're like, man, they just did a movie night on Friday night. And now they just brought donuts in for all the teachers. Man, those people are awesome.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, I mean, I want to think we're awesome. That's cool. But we do it because, yeah, we do it because we care for the teachers. We care for the community. We want to keep home values up. But, there's that ulterior motive as well, that if a teacher wants to go buy a house or sell a house, we want them to use us because we want to be in
Yep.
front of them. Same
Yep.
thing with our neighbors. And we don't take it personal if they use somebody else.
Yeah.
We can't get them all. I just want to be, I just want most of them, or
Yeah, exactly.
have the opportunity to sit down at the table and interview for the job. And so I want to be a consideration. There's nothing worse than having your neighbor across the street that you have to, and she overpriced the home, that you have to stare at that sign for 6 months
Yeah.
to look at it just day after day after day. So that is a good motivation to get out there and start farming your neighborhood.
100%. I totally agree. And that ties into the P of the CPR, which is the positioning, and the two elements of that, what I call it, ambassador and expert. And you need to become that ambassador for the community. You need to learn to give back. Just like you said, you're giving back to the people that were serving the community. You were serving them, serving the people who were serving the community. And then you become that expert. And when you know what's happening in the community, you know what the sales are, you know what's going on as far as the connections and the events and the people and the builders and all that kind of stuff, you're able to really position yourself and build that trust so people know, I can trust you. Like you said, it takes some time for them to go, can I trust Kevin? Is this the kind of person I want to work with? And then once you do that, the relationships start to flourish and start to grow. And that's huge. So for you, when you're capturing their attention, you're doing these events and things like that, what are you doing to follow up with them and then to convert that? Because I find a lot of agents struggle with, okay, I've got an event, I've got some names, and then they're just hoping that someone shows up at their event and says, list my house. I'm assuming that's not how it happens for you. So what are you doing to convert?
So conversion from the events initially, follow-up was not necessarily my strength. Self-promotion and promoting these events and getting in front of people was my strength. So our growth from 2016 to 2016, 17, and 18, all of that happened ironically with, at all of these events, we would have them fill out a little card that was maybe 3x5, and we'd always give a prize away. And on that card, we'd ask for name, email, and cell phone number. And then we'd ask for if they wanted more information on buying a home, selling a home, refinancing a home, or homeowners insurance. And if they circled buying or selling, I followed up with them. If they didn't, I didn't. I just put them in my CRM and they'd get something every once in a while. If they wanted to refinance, then I would give it to the lender. If they wanted homeowners insurance, then I'd send it to the insurance agent. Well, that's where in 2019, that all changed because our lead, now he's our lead buyer's agent, but Richard, who is came on in 2019 to be our first buyer's agent, he's a machine on the phones. So he is truly the yin to my yang when it comes to real estate. Because if I get in front of 100 people and I capture 100 phone numbers and email addresses, he's going to call them all within 48 hours, hands down. And so the agents that we look for on our team now, we're not looking for people who want to farm. We
Right.
have we do a pretty good job farming. I'm looking for people that if I go do an event at a school and I give you 50 phone numbers, that you're going to call them all and you're going to follow up with them and stay on
Yep.
top of them. And so our follow up now is exponentially insane compared to what it was, because before, once again, maybe I sold $10 million, but how much money did I leave on the table? Was that
Right.
5 million
Exactly.
because I had poor follow-up,
Yep.
or because I didn't have anyone, I didn't have a follow-up system in place? In fact, I sat down with my coach in 2018 and we estimated that I left $500,000 on the table. And
Yeah.
someone goes, "Oh, that's just one sale." I go, "No, not one sale. Like literally $500,000 cash that should be in my bank account. I
Yeah.
left that on the table by poor
Yeah.
follow-up."
Yeah.
So, so my, once again, my strength is putting on the event, getting in front of people, being that person that people say, "Man, that's the guy I trust.
Yeah.
That's the local expert." My wife is that person too. But our agents, the expectation is, "Hey, you're with us. They see you. They know who you are because we introduce you.
Yeah.
Now here's 100 numbers. Go call
That's
and go
awesome.
get business." And it's been, and that's why our business has grown exponentially since 2019, because that was that missing piece, was that lead follow up. And mine was, once again, it was built up on the brand,
Yep.
but now we have the follow up
Yeah.
systems in place.
Yeah, and I find a lot of agents are, like you said, leave a lot of money on the table, and think they got to double down on more of what they did. And it's like, no, there's more business in the leads you've got, the numbers you've got, the contacts. If you figure out the systems, whether it's a person you need to bring in, whether it's a system you need to bring in, whether it's the right marketing, you don't need to take on a bigger farm or do more
Mhm.
stuff. It's if you can get more out of your farm that you've already got, you're able to grow that without having to spend a whole lot more.
Yeah, and we've actually, as we brought on a new agent, we wanted to test him out on the phone, so we gave him a bunch of old leads from like 2019 that they just don't answer our phone calls.
Yeah.
So he's now converting these people from
Nice.
2019. They're answering the phone because it's a different phone number, and so his first sets of business are from people that he's cold calling that came to an event or to an activity that we hosted 2 years ago, and he's now converting them,
Yeah.
which that's pretty good. Now, one other thing, and I would imagine, Ryan, in Canada, the housing market, we have an inventory crisis in Florida, and so at our events, remember, we have buying a home, selling a home, homeowners insurance, or refinancing. In the past, I would send the bottom two to the lender and to the insurance agent. We don't do that anymore, because that means if they're circling those two, that means they're sellers.
Right.
And they just don't realize they're sellers because they
Yep.
own a home.
Yep.
And so, if someone, we call them up, in regards to refinancing, and they may want more information on refinance. And I was like, well, how much do you owe on your home? And now we start working backwards on how much
Mm.
equity they have and how much they could sell their home for. And they're like, oh my gosh, if they're a teacher and they have $300,000 equity, that's probably more money than they're going to get in retirement
Yeah.
in the Orange County public school system, Florida retirement system. So we've actually seen a lot of people who are decided to sell versus refinancing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. It's smart because you're keeping it within your own system. They've
Mhm,
asked for permission, or they've given you permission to follow up with them, and you're again
mhm.
elevating the deals you're getting. So I want to go back to the promotion of it, because I find a lot of agents struggle with, they've got an idea, they've got a great event, and they suck at getting people in the door. So what are you doing to get the message out there? What are you doing to get people to show up to these things to actually partake?
So we're a little bit different now. Now we don't walk the neighborhood like we used to. So as far as if we were in the neighborhood, and maybe we'll start back again, but we stopped with COVID. But we designed our own door hangers with our events, and on the back we made sure that they knew we were real estate agents and that we were the local experts.
Yep.
Even if you're not the local expert, guess what? You are the local expert. And I would walk the neighborhood and I would put door hangers on every single door, inviting them to the event. And then we would create the neighborhood, the event on the neighborhood Facebook page. And if your community doesn't have a neighborhood Facebook page, then you get to create one,
Yeah,
because now you can control the content.
exactly.
And so we put it on, and then maybe the day of or an hour or two before, I'd go on live and do a Facebook Live video. And of course, we know Facebook Live, the algorithm is they want live video, and so we would go on there and we'd shoot a live video. But we would just constantly, we would send the text messages to the people we know that live in the community. Hey, looking forward to seeing you tonight. Or we would send the email to the ones that we know that live specific in the neighborhood. But
Yep.
it's just, it's giving them an alternative that, hey, we have a cool free event for families. Everything's family friendly.
Yep.
Are the teenagers going to show up? Probably not. But are the families with young kids all the way up through 10 to 12 years old going to show up. Usually that's our demographic.
Yeah.
Where I live in Orlando, that's the people that are, they defeat the national average of buying and selling a home every 10 years. They buy and sell a home every 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's been part of our success, is that we make sure that we want them to come through us.
Yep.
And so it's a layer. It's, we definitely want to stay on top of our people, and personally have that personal invite. One of the things we do now that's huge, is we do video texting. So we do video texting for everything. I mean, in fact, that to me, sometimes that's even more powerful than a phone call, just because they don't expect it.
Right.
I only have 1 or 2 people that video text me. We have a team thread that we all communicate in, and we will do video texting back and forth when we have wins and when we have losses.
Yes.
But video texting has been huge, to send a quick video, and say, "Hey, Ryan, it's Kevin Kendrick. I was just thinking about you the other day, because this Friday night we're going to be doing a movie on the green space, and I want nothing more than for you and your family to attend. I'll see you at 6:30 on Friday."
That's
And then
awesome.
we hit send, and we always get responses.
That's great. And that's
And
personal to each one then?
majority of the time they're personal. When we've
Yeah.
done customer appreciation events, we have a lot of customers. So
Yeah.
I tried to do every single one
Yeah.
personalized, and my wife is like, "You can't do that." So, but if we can personalize it, we do.
That's awesome.
And because, once again, that if it's generic, you can kind of feel it
Yeah.
that way. But it's no different than time blocking, for lead generation. If I'm
Yep.
going to set aside an hour to do video texting, it's one shot. It doesn't matter if I mess up or not. I'm not gonna, I can't go back and watch it 10 times.
Yeah.
I do it, boom, and I send it, and I'll do as much as I can in 60 minutes.
Are you using a program for that, or are you just literally just shooting it right on your phone and do it?
I just shoot it right on my phone.
That's
The
awesome.
way we work our team is we're assigned letters on Monday,
Yep.
and we know who we're going to call, who we're going to text, and who we're going to video text. And
Nice.
so if the letter T is my video texting for the week, then I'm just going to start with whatever's at the top, and I go all the way through until I'm done. And that doesn't allow us to discriminate who we're going to call or not call.
Right.
Because some people will say, "Oh, I don't want to call Ryan Smith. He knows a lot of real estate agents, and he probably doesn't want to work with me." And in your mindset, you've already lost.
Yeah.
My thing is I'm going to stay on top of Ryan, because if you ever send someone to Southeast Orlando, I want you to say, "Man, you got to call Kevin Kendrick, because he's the local expert. He's always sending me video updates, text updates, email updates." And that's what we want to do. We want to stay in front of our people.
That's awesome. So what are you doing then, other than the events, to stay in for people, other than texting and events? Are you doing online marketing, offline marketing? Like, what does your kind of overall strategy look like?
So we do have a team Facebook page that we're probably up to, I don't know, 4,100, 4,200. We rely on Google as well. We've really increased our Google presence. And we know that we've increased because we've gotten some phone calls from across the country that we normally would not have received.
Yep.
And when people say they saw us online and the online reviews, they're generally coming from Zillow or from Google, and we've put our money into Google, not into Zillow.
Good.
And so, one of the things that I didn't start it. Someone in our community started it, but we have a community Facebook page that in 2016, it was getting a lot of spam, and basically she just asked for help. And I said, I'll help you run the page. I
Yep.
like Facebook. So now that Facebook page is 13,000 people that live in our community. We probably have 25,000 people in our community. So we have over 50% are on this Facebook
Wow.
page, and they see me posting every day. I interview local politicians. I interview restaurants, owners, small business owners, students, athletes, teachers. I interview everybody on a regular basis, at least once a week, because, at the end of the day, I want them to not only think of Kevin Kendrick and Yvette Kendrick, they sell a lot of houses. We want that community aspect as well.
Yep.
That, in fact, we want a community pool. Our neighbor, that's the big thing on Facebook in our community right now, is Lake Nona, we want a community pool.
Yep.
And I've probably received about 10 text messages from friends who said, "When you do your interview update with Commissioner Jim Gray, can you tell him we want a pool?"
Yeah.
And I've wanted to say, one, I'm flattered that they think that I have that pull with the commissioner, because they could have very easily emailed him, called him,
Yeah.
gone on his Facebook page, made that post, sent a message. They could have done all that, but they said, Kevin, it's almost like you're the beacon to the commissioner, which I'm not, but I do have I sit with him once a month, and we probably talk on the phone every other week, a week, 2 weeks prior. But I've interviewed our city council member, House of Representatives at the federal level, at the state level. And I love going into local restaurants and local businesses, and they will say, they'll say, oh, can we set up a time to interview? And I go, no, we're just going to do it right now. And they're like, well, no, I'm not ready. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're ready. I'm here right now. Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
And I'll whip out the phone and we'll go Facebook Live on that community page with 13,000 members. And, on a Facebook Live video, maybe 2,500 view, 2,500 people see it, but that's 2,500 more than before. So
Yeah.
we leverage the community Facebook pages a lot. We don't pay for advertising on Facebook. The algorithm there is, once you start paying them, Facebook wants more. And so, so we've done it very organically as far as our Facebook reach. And so we'll post whatever we post on our business page. We'll post on everyone's personal pages, and we'll post on on all the different community pages as well.
You literally just summed up my advice I give to people all the time when they ask, if I was starting a farm, what would I do? And that you literally just did. My thing I would say is, get involved in the community Facebook page. If there isn't one, create one. I tell people to focus on businesses and things to do in the community, and do events and videos for them, and then focus on championing a cause and try to get people tied into the community. So you do the pool, you've got the businesses, you've got the Facebook group. So that's amazing, because that really does help connect, and it brings you from just being an agent to being that ambassador for the community. It helps you connect the dots, and people go, I want to work with you, because they see that you're not just there to sell them home. They see that you care.
Right. And a few years ago, they did like a best of Nona. So my community is Lake Nona. And I got nominated for Real Estate Agent of the Year, which was an honor. But based on our volume, I was like, okay, cool. We got nominated. But I also got nominated for Community Member of the Year. And that's where it really hit me, that it was like, wow, we just don't sell homes. We're doing something for the teachers. We're doing something for the hospitals. Our section of the city, we're also known as Medical City, because we have like 5-6 major hospitals. University of Florida has a research facility here. UCF has a medical school here. So that was an honor to be viewed that way, because that let us know that we're doing more than just trying to sell homes.
Yeah, and that's huge. And if you do it right, it becomes more enjoyable for you. And that's what I tell agents all the time. It's like, a lot of agents burn out from the business because they don't like the day-to-day operations of real estate. But if you get involved in the community, you get back to the community, you can do stuff that you enjoy. You can do stuff that brings you purpose in life and have more value to what you do. And people will resonate with you, and you'll find it easier to connect with people who want to work with you because of who you are and what you do.
Well, and I think, the shirt that I'm wearing now, I'll sit up in a second so you can see it, is, and when people see me, I want to be wearing one of two things, either a Kendrick team shirt or a Lake Nona shirt. And this is the Lake Nona Lions football team. So that's our high school, Lake Nona. And so today I'm wearing a Lake Nona Lions football shirt. And I interviewed the football coach a few weeks ago, and every year him and his wife give us t-shirts, because we help promote the football games and broadcast from the games. And I was in his war room, and he's like, we got to get you some more gear, man. He's like, what size do you wear? And I gave him my size, and he just started pulling every single shirt that he ever had out. And I came home with like all this Lake Nona gear, and he didn't need to do that. But we built, it actually sold him a house too. So that was pretty awesome too. Great. But that was, the football coach bought a house from us. But I think it was just a testament to us always being at the football games, even before our kids went to the school. Our kids don't play on the football team, but we're always there. We're always promoting. We're like, hey, this Friday night, this is the place to be, is at Lake Nona High School for the football game. I'm going to be there. My wife's going to be there, and you need to be there too. And what high school kid doesn't want to play in front of a packed football stadium at high school versus a couple hundred people? So, so I think, having that platform like Facebook that we talked about, but also getting out there and interviewing people, and they don't have to be long interviews. They could be a 10-minute interview. Hey coach, what's your game plan for this Friday night against Joe Blow High School? or, you walk into a new restaurant and, hey, what are your specials this Friday night, that the community needs to know that they're coming here, not going to the other place,
Yeah.
and so, and we enjoy doing that.
Yeah, that's great. And that, yeah, it just ties it all together. And that's where a lot of agents miss that, because they try to just focus on the transaction. They try to focus on just the selling the homes, and they go back to that old school farming of, I'm the best agent, I sell more homes, or I just listed, just sold. And it's like, if you can connect with people on the emotional level and the personal level,
Mm.
they'll hand over their listing to you, because they know you're someone they can trust and they want to work with. And you don't have to really sell them. You don't have to answer all these objections, because people go, hey, Ryan's a good guy, I want to work with him, I know he's involved and he cares.
Well, and I think you even said it best, because you used the word transactional, and and I've told my team the whole time, we're not transactional. If we
Yeah.
focus on the transaction, we're going to lose a lifelong customer,
Yep.
because a lifelong customer is going to refer us business as well. And we do focus on that relationship side of it, because we want, we even have a Kendrick team customer appreciation Facebook page, which I think
Nice.
everyone should have, which I got the idea from Ginny Weimer.
Yeah.
And as people give me gift cards, as I go to restaurants, and we'll do an interview, and they'll say, hey, here's a gift card, hey, thank you for doing that, here's a gift card. I don't use those gift cards, we give them away to our customer database.
Yeah.
And we'll say, hey, pick a number 1 through 100, first person who gets it wins a $25 gift card to here. Or we're giving away free football tickets to University of Florida, and we're just going to draw a name out of the hat. And
Yeah.
so that's another way, because now we have all these people on our customer appreciation page, and we're giving them, we're just giving to them throughout the year,
Yeah.
not it's closing day, thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then again, they see the value in listening to what you're doing and not just waiting for real estate advice when they need it. They participate in life stuff, not just real estate stuff. And
Right.
that keeps them connected, and that keeps them thinking about you past the transaction, past once they've moved and settled into the house.
Mhm.
They're looking to connect. There's a restaurant here in town. It's a Chinese food restaurant, and same thing. Like, they're always actively involved. They're giving away stuff, and it's like, when I think of Chinese food, I go to them, because they're not just talking about Chinese food, but they're active and they're connecting with people and they're giving
Right.
away stuff. And it's like, that's who I would recommend to go eat at. So
Mhm.
I want to talk to you about the events in COVID times, because you said you'd shifted gears and changed things. I know a lot of people have struggled with that. There's people who have done incredible with events. What have you done to shift, and where are you seeing it go now as we kind of start coming out of this?
Probably uh, going to 2022, we're going to go back to doing what we were doing
Okay.
before. And at the end of the day, people have a choice. They can choose to come to the event. We're not going to ask them to wear a mask. I'm not going to ask them if they're vaccinated. That's
Yep.
ultimately, that's their decision. And but we have been very cautious. We've changed things from, here's an event, to here's maybe a grab and go. So in the past,
Mm.
we would do a big, every year we would do what we refer to as pumpkins on the green. Everyone got a medium-sized pumpkin about the size of a cantaloupe. We bought them. We love, and they would come and they would paint and decorate, and my wife would go to Michael's and she'd buy all kinds of decorating stuff for the kids, and it would be a 3-hour event per neighborhood, and it was amazing. And I'd buy 200 to 250 pumpkins a year. Last year it was a grab and go. They got the pumpkin,
Right.
and they had like different stations. They could go to station 1 with me to check in, another station to pick a pumpkin, another station to get their decorating stuff, and another station to get their, like, hey, here's how you promote the stuff on Facebook and
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
Well, this year there's a pumpkin shortage. Nobody knew, but there's no farmers to pick up the pumpkins. So, so last year we did a grab and go, and this year we're just going to shift to doing pumpkin donuts. And I'm sure we'll have coffee and maybe apple cider and do something else, but it'll be in a condensed time. But most of our events that we've done has really just kind of been, they've always been outdoors, but now it's, where space is involved. I'll tell you a great event that we do is we do a glow stick jam. You can go to Amazon and you can probably, for $100, you can get 1,000 glow sticks.
Wow.
You don't have to do nothing other than just give kids glow sticks and let them run around in the dark. And now that the time change, at least in the United States, is going to happen soon, and it
Yep.
gets dark at 6 o'clock, you can have your event starting at 5:30, give away a bunch of glow sticks. You don't even need a DJ. We now hire a DJ to do it just because we
Yep.
can. but you could just take the loudest speaker that you could potentially find and just play music, and the kids will jump up and down and they're going to wear themselves out. They're going to be drenched in sweat, and then the parents are going to rave about it the next day on Facebook, and they're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh my God, thank you, Kevin and Yvette, for an amazing time last night. So it's just, at this point, it's just thinking outside the box. It's doing things um, that maybe you wanted to do.
Yeah.
As a kid, what did you want to do? Oh, you wanted to have a doggy parade? Cool. Mardi Gras is coming up. Instead of having a Mardi Gras parade, let's have a doggy parade.
Yeah.
Um, you know, with the 4th of July, we put American flags in front of all the mailboxes. Another agent that we've never done this, they do a freedom parade through the neighborhood where they have the kids decorate their bikes, and they have the kids decorate the golf carts, and they ride through the neighborhood with the freedom parade.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of different things that we can do in out there, and it doesn't, whether regardless of COVID or not. For customers, you can do one of those sip and paint nights.
Yep.
Where they bring the painters in, and that's something great that you can do in an enclosed room with 25, 30 people.
Yeah.
And you can do that with your database. You can do it with a farm area.
Yeah, it's great. And that's what I always say too, is like, when you can put your own personal spin on it, you're going to enjoy it more. You're going to resonate.
Mhm.
You're going to connect with people who, like, if you're into wine and painting, you're going to find your tribe. And you're going to, if you have
Mhm.
kids and you do kids events, you're going to find your tribe, and people are going to see that you're passionate about it and really want to stick around and do business with you. So it can definitely help make it more enjoyable. It can help you stick with it longer, because a lot of times agents give up before that. When they are transactional,
Right.
it becomes tedious or not as fun to do. So yeah, putting your personal spin is huge.
And one of the things you kind of mentioned, finding your tribe. 2 years ago, we got invited to a 4th of July party, and it was, the younger couples. My wife and I were in our late 40s, and it was a couple with, it was the families. It was all young kids between 3 and 7, and all the couples were early, mid, late 30s. And I had to ask. We went, and I had to ask. I was like, I'm just curious. Why did you guys invite us? We never hang out with them. We never. And they're just like, we're all best friends because of you.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? They're like, well, we all met at your events. And now these families vacation together. They double date together. They triple date. They spend their holidays together. And they invited us almost as a way of saying thanks. And that was very flattering that, that we had, not that we had that impact on them, but our desire to farm and connect people, that they found each other and they found their tribe at our community events. And these are and the kids are best friends. And
that's awesome.
It's really neat to watch these families grow as they meet each other at these events.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, to see that come together, and it's not something you were intending to do, but to see that the fruits of that come together is awesome.
Yeah.
So we like to wrap up with a last piece of advice. So what's one piece of advice you'd give if someone's thinking about getting involved in the community, getting involved with their farm? What would you tell someone who's was asking you?
So I'm a big fan of all the Rocky movies, and when I teach farming, I always go back to Rocky's coach when he fought the Russian Ivan Drago, and when Rocky was training, mentally his coach just kept saying, no pain, no pain, no pain. And so when I'm out there farming, I always have that phrase, no pain. And you're probably thinking, like, what the heck is he going to say? Well, farming's not easy. And there's going to be times that you want to quit. And there's going to be times that you want to cry. And, you need to have the mindset going in that, you know what, no pain, no pain. You got to have that metronome going, that no matter what, no matter whether you get yelled at, whether you get cussed at, whether you get spit on, you have you need to see the end in mind. And no matter what, no pain. No one's going to stop you from doing your farm. No pain. No one's going to stop you from doing your movie event. No pain. No one's going to stop you from walking 40,000 steps in a day and delivering thousands of door hangers, inviting them to your event. And so no matter what you do, if your mindset going in is, you know what, there's no pain. My mindset is, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to do this. And people want to buy houses from me because they know that I am the local expert. They want to buy houses from me because they like me. They trust me. And we got to have that mindset that we are the local expert, whether we've sold one house or we've sold 1,000 homes. We are the local expert. You know what? We called ourselves the Kendrick team before we had a team. Why? because we were.
Yeah.
We wanted everyone to know, hey, we got a team behind us.
Yep.
They weren't on our team; they were on our Keller Williams team.
Yep.
But it's that mindset that we were going to have a team one day, and that we were going to sell hundreds of homes. And praise God, God's been good. And but we continue to farm, and farming's been a blessing to us. And I think the people in our community, they look forward to what we do.
That's awesome. Yeah. Great advice and great wisdom and insight from your experience. And I think if people can take that to heart, I think they really see they can stick with it too. So we always wrap up with the best book. So what's one book that you recommend that's had an impact on your life and you think would have an impact on our viewers?
Can I pick two?
Sure. I'll
So
give that
I'm
one.
gonna pick two real quick. So Good to Great by Jim Collins, hands down best business book. Whether you're a solo agent, you're developing a team or anything like that, I think everything is so applicable to real estate. And the one thing that we frequently see is say on our own team is we got to make sure we have the right people on the right bus. And if they're on the right bus, we want to make sure that the seat's going in the right direction for the rest of the team and not trying to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And so Jim Collins is amazing. And then Gary Keller, I could very easily go MREA, the $1 Million Real Estate Agent, but I'm going to go the one thing.
Yeah.
I think I see so many people saying, they want to multitask. They're trying to do 20 different things. And I even got asked today, they're like, man, how do you deal with hundreds of text messages a day? And I was like, because I do it all at one time. I time block to do texting. I don't do texting throughout the day. That's a time sucker. I email for a certain time period. I text for a certain time period. I video text, I phone call, I do everything. And the one thing for me is to make sure that I time block, that I set aside time for each activity so that I can be successful versus trying to multitask, which we know research says there's no such thing as a good multitasker.
Exactly. Those are both great books. So we'll definitely put those in the show notes so people can check those out. And
Awesome.
How can our viewers check out what you're up to if they want to connect with you and see what you're doing?
So they can go to our Facebook page, our team Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Kendrick team. You can always shoot me an invite. We're very public with what we do. And then if you're really interested to see our Facebook community page, if you go to Facebook and you type in Narcoossee News Network, you can hit the link to that. Now it's going to ask you a series of questions because it's going to say, do you live in Lake Nona? And you just need to say, yes, Kevin Kendrick invited me to Lake Nona. And then I'll accept you into our community. And then you can at least get a flavor of the interviews that we do on a regular basis, how we're promoting the events at the high school, how we're promoting events at the middle schools and the elementary schools. And so then you can see, oh, wow, now I know what he's talking about having a true community Facebook page, because everything that someone who lives in the Lake Nona area, it's on that Facebook page.
That's
and
awesome.
Something that's going to happen tomorrow, we're going to promote it, and we're going to promote the small businesses. And it's been neat to see that page evolve, so that it has influence that when families are in need. And real quick, Ryan, we had a need at the high school that we had about 20 homeless children. And homeless, the definition for homeless in Florida means they just don't have an exact home with a bed. So it could be sleeping on a couch at an ant. And as a community, we filled up the food pantry to last another 3 months. The lady actually called me up. She said, Kevin, no more. She goes, please do not tell them thank you, but please do not post any more about the food pantry. We are good until 2022. And awesome. That's what the community page has done. It's evolved into, it's not the Kevin show. It's the Lake Nona show. And it's what can we do to be a better community?
That's awesome. So we'll put that in the show notes as well, so people can check that out and connect with you. So Kevin, I really appreciate being on here. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom and your insights and the similar beliefs that we have, because I think it's important that agents really rethink how they see farming. And if you've been following my show for a long time, you know how I think, and it's awesome to see people who are going down that same path. And it's awesome to see and hear about your trajectory and your business. So thank you for being on here. And I really appreciate the insights you've shared.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you'd like more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Facebook page and our other social media channels. Looking forward to bringing you more great content like this, and happy farming.